Hey people, 5 Aces here. Welcome to the very first match of the month. Welcome to this co-production between myself and So Scared. And welcome to basically something where I reap the rewards and So Scared is doing all of the dirty work. So shout out to him. So what is this all about? The match of the month is going to occur on an infrequent schedule, and it is going to be a highly overproduced video, which has the production bars on the top. It's got like all the fancy editing by So Scared. The camera work is done by So Scared. You see, no hands. And I am free to just sit back and talk and commentate, spectate, all the stuff that I love about OpenRA. Now the matchup that he's chosen for the first match of the month is a classic in OpenRA. It is our very own Blobmaster 2000. It is Barf on the left hand side spawning as France, and surprisingly enough a France mirror, so both of these players must have randomed. And his opponent de jour is Smitty, none other than the Masters player who is facing off against myself and Barf and others in the upcoming season, which is going to be hyped. And a lot of pressure coming onto the oil derricks of Barf already. Smitty opening up with 10 riflemen, queuing up 10 and setting 6 up north. Is it going to be enough? Barf is staying on the pillbox. He's trying to delay. He's trying to buy some time for his engineer to finish the capture of the pillbox. That's an instance where capturing the pillbox first pays off big times. And yes! Just in time, just in the nick of time here, the engineer gets the capture onto the pillbox. And in the southern side, we see relatively delayed capture for Barf, for Smitty. Now that's not a big surprise, considering he has wasted a considerable amount of units on the north hand side. And we're also seeing at least 4 fake power plants out of Barf. So he's going for the high style. Oh, but dramatic irony. One of the surviving rifleman is going to stand in the path of the engineer and get a snipe off. Thank you, goodbye. 50 credits and veteran C3 right straight out the gate. Good stuff, that's awesome. Both on the double rev, so we're not seeing a War Factory rush for this time around. I would have expected more of a War Factory rush now. On sidestep, yes, this is the playtest. A big change in the playtest. First off, the hit shapes. So now all the buildings have proper hit shapes. Tanya won't run on top of a building anymore and try place her C4 like on the roof tile or some shit. She is going to attach the C4 to one of the side walls, and conversely, all the tanks are going to shoot at the sides of a building, and all the range limits have been adjusted. But also, secondly, the stance changes. Now, what happened with the stances is that the attack everything stance is not default anymore. So if you're having a irregular army, you can't attack move into a base anymore. This basically nerfs base pushing, because if you deploy let's say a pillbox somewhere, it is automatically going to focus down all the infantry streaming out of a barracks instead of the barracks itself. So this takes away some of the pressure that you need to deal with when you're coming into a base push situation. This is an experimental change still. It's in the playtest. We will see whether it's going to make it into the release. It sparked a lot of controversy, as you might imagine. And both players macroing up 4 harvesters over 5 over 4 harvesters. Nothing out of the ordinary. Look at how similar the timings on the service depots are. Just 5 seconds apart. That's how solidified the meta has become, and that's how solid the players are. There are no more. I can't do casts like the first couple casts anymore, where one of the players would just go on one harvester and try rushing a nuke, or a player would just wall himself off. Harassment has become so much part of the game. Early aggression has become part of the game. Map control, scouting, all the good stuff that you know from other RTS. And I love the ranger investment that we're seeing out of Barf. Just controlling the north end flank, making sure he doesn't get flanked by an infantry squadron. First, yeah, that's the 4-minute 30 MCV, a very common timing. And also a couple nice scouts, well-placed scouts by Barf. Now Smitty is playing more into the dark, but he's got his own expansion out just 5 seconds behind. And the first tanks are starting to roll out. Now this is the classic Barf meta. You go for at least 7 barracks, and you go for mass infantry. Jeez. There is not a game in which I haven't seen him place an infantry blob somewhere. And more of a blind expansion out here from Smitty. Gets immediately scouted by the Ranger. Also, the macro refinery is something that has become very prevalent. You just take your secure expansion, pop down a refinery, pop down maybe one base defense to prevent engineer captures, and then move on to the next ore patch in order to just fortify your position and give you a chance at grabbing an extra ore patch. This is how the meta has been playing out. Something that has recently just gotten, just gained lots of popularity. And immediately, do you see, as soon as the MCV pops down, it immediately pops down a refinery as well. This is basically, but we're seeing a flanking maneuver on the north end side by Smitty. Unscouted as of yet. The rifle scout has died, I see it on the minimap. And in terms of assets, both on fairly even standings here. Smitty floating a bit more, but that's fluctuating. 4 tanks already for Barf. The big macro maneuver. And we're seeing that the Ranger is paying off big time here. He has scouted what's happening. And a massive infantry presence in the base of Barf. Just playing it safe. The only thing that can counter it at this stage of the game would be an artillery rush, and artillery rush is not that just as I'm saying this, first artillery has come online. I've heard a shell somewhere. 155 mil. So, that's Smitty opting for artillery play. Probably a smart choice, considering that there is lots and lots of infantry. Barf is a bit behind on the radar dome, because he invested more in early infantry. So, it is, the pressure is on for Smitty to do some damage with the early artilleries. He's also, Smitty a bit behind. He's taking his third expansion right now, but unlike Barf, he doesn't immediately have a refinery to pop down. So that takes a lot of foresight. You already have to know, okay, I'm expanding, and in 20 seconds I want a refinery ready. Because you don't ever want to float your build queue. Both opting for Heinz now, very smart and sound choice. Heinz give you the line of sight. It's mostly they're not used as combat units in this meta, in this blob meta. They're mostly used as mobile scouts. They have great line of sight and are relatively maneuverable. A double Conyard lockdown on the north end side for Smitty. Relatively unconventional here. Barf has only gotten 3, it's gotten 3 MCVs. So it's relatively standard play. Or has he? Yeah, he does. Also, the Ranger still being kept alive. And here's the first A move. Here's the first blobbing maneuver from Barf. But this is going to meet a very solid defense out of Smitty. And I don't see this going anywhere. As soon as the meat shield falls, as soon as the first tank is down, the artillery can do wonders here. Oh, look at those 155 mil shells raining down. Also, we can observe here, the rocket soldiers firing onto the side of the building instead of the center. So this is one of the changes that is going to nerf, I guess it's going to nerf base pushing. A massive fortification, massive investment into static D out of Barf on the south end side. But this can be breached by mass artillery. 3 artilleries and 1 Hind are enough to just keep this in check. And on the north end side, it's looking good here for Smitty as well. So, geez, yeah. He's probably going to be able to push Barf out of here. Now, you can see here, those buildings are not being auto-targeted. Oh, Scoutilleries! No, not like this. In the corner of my eye, I've seen the 3 artilleries of Smitty going into melee form. You know, transforming into melee artilleries, hashtag Scoutillery. And that's the end of that here. Oh, one of them surviving. Alright, but still a massive infantry presence for Barf, so no way to crack this. And here comes the double prong pillbox attack. Oh my lord. So unbeknownst to Barf, Smitty actually has a double Conyard up top. This is a very vulnerable expansion. Oh, the artilleries from Barf taking the Conyard under siege, and Smitty should undeploy. Too late, it's too late. Especially as allies, this is such a crucial moment. If you see your Conyard going down, just undeploy, and you can always salvage the husk with an engineer. It's basically a Conyard for the price of 500. Oh, the pillbox pops and pops the last artillery from Smitty on the southern flank. Northern flank though, looking good so far. He's lost one Conyard, but there is another one where that came from. Oh, found the snipe on the Conyard, but Barf immediately going in with an engineer. That's exactly what I was on about. Barf maintaining his Conyard, or retaining it, simply because he had an engineer ready. And he had undeployed just at the right time. So very good play for Barf. He otherwise would probably have lost this expansion completely. But as it stands, he's still in the game here. And here's the secondary push from Barf. That's an A move if I ever saw one. Alright, Blobmaster 3000 in his element. And a very good concave. Be it intentional or not. Very good concave so far. And probably taking down the forces. Yeah. Smitty being forced to sound the retreat. But on the north-hand side, it's starting to look better. Alright, he has found the snipe on the Conyard. 5 artilleries. And 2 Hinds as well. Now the thing with this composition, do you see any anti-air? I sure as hell don't see any anti-air. Oh, and we're seeing the big base push. It's happening. Now let's see how the base push is gonna play out this time around, because there are mass pillboxes for the defender. And yeah, you see, you can't tank with barracks anymore. The barracks are not going to get focused by static D, and this is something I really like about the change. What's news? Most of the map is being mined out, or on the verge of being mined out at least. 5 artillery still up north. Should go and clean up the last bits here, bits and pieces. Alright, that's not the most sound use of your ammo. Trying to snipe pillboxes with Hinds. Heavy armor type is not very... Yeah, Hinds not very efficient against heavy armor. And you have to manually focus all the barracks now, which is something that might be annoying to some players, but at the same time, I think it balances out nicely. It stops base pushes in most instances. We're seeing lots of medium tanks, and in comes the hind flank. Good night, artilleries. That's why Smitty would have needed a Conyard and an AA gun on the ready. This is something in allied mirror matchups. The most important defensive structure to have on the ready is an AA gun. It's not a pillbox, it's an AA gun, definitely. So we're seeing nice base trades, and now game has evened up. A 10k asset advantage for Smitty. Barf finding a nice unprotected juicy pillbox with his 4 medium tanks, alright. And he's got a Hind fleet. The massive Hind fleet can tackle an ore refinery easily. 3 fully armed and reloaded Hinds are enough to take down the refinery. Look at how they're not firing at the center of structure anymore. I like it. Alright, very good play, very good play. And the siege has begun. Oh, he's walling off the pillboxes. That's one of the dirtiest tricks in the book. He's rendering all your opponent's pillboxes completely useless by just popping down a couple wall segments. But too many tanks here. Tank force is overwhelming. And they're probably going to find the snipe. Is Barf going to undeploy? No! No undeploy maneuver for Barf, so easy pickings. And no chance for an engineer to come in. Now, this also changes the way you can play around with helicopters. They can now attack move into a fortified position if there is no AA, because they won't waste their ammo on stupid barracks anymore. And that's a pretty big buff to Hinds, I'd say. Excellent, excellent. As most of you might know, this is something that tickles my fancy. Tickles my pickle, so to say. And what's in store for Barf? He's building a tech center. He's the first to take up to tier 3. Wondering if he can make it work, but I think on a map like this, which is so large and macro-centric, you can get away with the tech center in an allies mirror matchup. There's the tech center popping, AA gun popping. Beautiful. And in order to dispatch of this, a chronosphere would be in order. But let's see. A nice sneaky flank with a lot of infantry and a lonesome medium tank by Smitty. Let's see how far this is gonna go. And finally retaking his secondary expansion. I've heard Tanya. Alright, Tanya, where's she at? There she is. Barf It's not Barf this time around, it's Barf. So his evil twin brother, his even more evil twin brother. 20% more evil. The Hinds have scouted the little push here. And Tanya's on the move. Alright. I don't think this is gonna go any further than this. 3 Conyards for Barf. I don't think he wants to opt for a base push here. Oh wow, that's quite the medium tank density. Going to go for a Harvester Snipe, and currently there is nothing in position to stop the medium tanks from ravaging through the eco. This is going to be good. All the Hind ammo has to be wasted on the medium tanks. Wow, that's 4 Harvesters. And an artillery to boot. He could go in and snipe the Hinds on the airfield. Oh, snipe the longbow right. Oh, what an expensive snipe. That was the first longbow to come out here. And that's a 2k investment down the drain. Very good run by. Finding some artilleries as well. That has been a worthwhile push here. Fantastic play. And they're firing on the move. They found Tanya. Alright. I would rather go for the AA gun. Anti-air guns are... they can't run away, let's put it that way. And Tanya is just going to juke the ever-living hell out of those medium tanks, which are not doing a speck of damage to her. Finally she goes down. Oh! The artillery friendly fire killing one of the advanced power plants, or fake power plants. And now we've got a 16k advantage for Smitty. This is looking good for him. Looking very good so far. He's also on 4 expand. No, it's in 3 expansions still, but the push is coming. Winter is coming, Barf. Are you prepared? Oh, Tanya's back. Guess who's back? Back again. Tanya's back, tell a friend. Medium tanks are not done though. They have found the snipe on another artillery piece. Very beautiful. The only thing that Barf can hope for now is stalling for the 5-minute timer on the GPS satellite, as you can see up top here. And on the right hand flank, I think Smitty's got enough to breach here. Also, I would like to see a flank onto the bottom left expansion, which is pretty much unprotected. Lots and lots of Hinds for Barf. He's going in. If he goes in, all Smitty needs to do is press the S key. If he presses the S key, the rocket soldiers are automatically going to target the air units. There we go. Very beautiful. Thank you, sir. Okay, too many rockets. And he should press the stop key right now. Press it right now. At least 2 Hinds would have died. Well, bit of a miss micro. That's something that is commonly referred to as stop micro. Still a 12k advantage for Smitty, who is now getting rid of the walls here. And he's got an attack center of his own. Alright. An unscouted tech center, mind you. So far, a very big advantage that I'm seeing for Smitty. This is fantastic. I don't even have to do the camera work. I'm just sitting back here, chilling out, maxing, relaxing, all cool, and shooting some b-ball outside of the school. Sipping some water out of my massive jug. A Chronosphere for Barf. Alright, now we're cooking. Tier 3 in full effect. I would love to see some more Chronosphere action. And there is a push on the bottom right side that I can't see right now. And a radar jammer coming out. Okay. Tier 3 in full effect. And very good play by Smitty, just reinforcing with a couple mechanics, which are just going to keep his tanks alive that much longer. Longbow almost going down. And we're seeing a push, but there is a radar jammer in the blob here. Oh. Uh-oh. So, sound the retreat because he's found the hard counter. Hard counter to mass rocket soldiers. A single radar jammer for the low price of 800 or 900, I believe. He's going to nullify an entire squadron of, or platoon of rocket soldiers. The Hinds are trying for a flank here. No. No. Well, regardless, he's going in regardless. Finding the snipe on a 5-stack of rocket soldiers, not too bad. And forcing a reaction out of Smitty. Smitty pulling his army out of position. He can't really catch the Hinds. Hinds are too mobile. Oh, going into the AA gun though. That's my credo. in an allies versus allies mirror matchup, always have an AA gun ready. Yeah, there we go. 1, 2. Do I see 3? Oh, so close. Oh, Jesus. 3, 4, 5. Did Tanya survive? There was a Tanya on the block, right? Yeah, Tanya did survive. Just caught her in the corner of my... We're gonna have a Tanya versus Tanya showdown. Bring it on. Ah! Barf wins. Fatality. Barely not sniping the harvester here. The radar jammer still standing here and just deflecting the push. It's a bit out of position though, so Smitty could just take his tanks. Here's the first chronosphere. What's it gonna be? 2 artilleries. Alright. That's a bit special. That was Barf's chronosphere as well, because Smitty is not up to chronosphere yet. So, scoutilleries. Hashtag scoutillery. I would rather have, if you wanna get a good scout and read of the base, I would rather recommend chrono shifting in 1 or 2 rangers. They're super mobile, not likely to die, and super high line of sight. And we're gonna have a base push straight onto the main base of Barf. Let's see, can he survive versus Smitty here? The harvester has regened a bit, but not enough. And this is very good play. What I believe that Smitty is doing here is finding the formation so that his tanks are soaking up all the pillbox shots. It's looking a bit bleak for Barf here. He's down to 2 expansion. No, he's still got a secondary expansion, never mind. But he's going to be under a lot of pressure right here. And 3 seconds on the nuke. Of all things, he has built a nuke. Tanya versus Tanya, and Barf wins again. That's a 2-0 so far. Okay, the AA gun has popped. But now we need pillboxes. Alright, can Barf hold on for the missile silo? That's 2 little infantry here for Smitty. And the AA gun has just been sniped, so the longbows are doing a number on the tanks here. The longbows just there at the right time, in the right place. Awesome. A counter longbow for Smitty, but can't do anything right now. So this push hasn't been also successful. It's like killed 2 harvesters. I mean, at least it's denied the mining. What I would do if I were in Smitty's shoes here, I would take all my tanks down south and snipe all the pillboxes. Now the asset discrepancy is beginning to stack up. We're up to 20k difference almost. But we've got the tech advantage still for Barf. He's gotten the chronosphere up, and the GPS satellite has just come online. Is this a window for him to come back? He's gotten 2 minutes and 50 until the GPS satellite of Smitty comes online. And now you can see the power of the GPS. He knows exactly where to attack and where not to attack. Very good. Being blind, and Smitty still being blindsided here. Oh! That's expensive. I hate losing longbows. a bit of a cheeky forward refinery.
There is a very unstable situation.
Longbow survives.
That is unfolding very quickly.
That's the main unit here in the brunt of the army. Uh-oh. They're on the hunt though. The pack of infantry's on the hunt. Tanya's popped again. And there must be a Tanya. Oh, nice. Nice chronosphere. There must be a Tanya for Smitty. Because Barf's Tanya is still in the base. She is 2-0 so far on the confirmed Tanya kills. Let's see how far she can stack up. Couple artilleries. A secondary war factory for Smitty as well. What was the chrono here? Just chroning back the husks. I see how it's going here. Tanya. Why isn't she veteran C2 already? She has sniped 2 Tanyas. 2 enemy Tanyas, 2 imposters. So Smitty is still operating with line of sight issues here. Until he gets his satellite online. And good snipe here. Thank you, goodbye. Close but no cigar, and there is no line of sight left for Smitty. The refinery could get sniped so easily here. Smitty has got a massive presence of infantry on the bottom, in the bottom right corner. Tanya's coming in though. He's doing her job. In the line of duty. Alright, let's see this engagement. A longbow for a hind. Not very good. The refinery finally getting sniped, but Tanya's in the mix. Now it all depends on the artillery shells. What is the artillery focusing on? Nothing so far. First artillery shell not hitting Tanya. Second, devastating hits on the blob, but no Tanya snipe as of yet. And the longbows are trying to find the flank. Oh, Tanya's been revealed. No, the artillery is going into melee form again. It's a big victory for Barf. He has finally managed to push Smitty out of his position here. The GPS satellite is going up right now for Barf, for Smitty. So they're going to be on equal footing, but there is a 5-minute timer on the nuke. The nuke is ticking down. Cold War. Escalation level 3. Now, in a GPS situation, that's especially where anti-air guns are going to shine. So I don't like the composition from Smitty that he's trying to push with, because he's got 3 unprotected artilleries. That's a war he just can't win. Straight up. He's also somehow messed up his rally point somewhere along the line. A couple of harvesters are idle. They should be pulled off the line of duty. And just be used as damage soaks. So much veterancy onto the blob that I'm beginning to wonder, did Barf actually sneak in a spy? But it doesn't look like it. Don't think he has. I didn't see a single spy produced this entire game. Oh, we're seeing the Tanya versus Tanya wars. Artillery wars again. Yeah, buddy. That's the allied mirror that we deserve to see here. Tanya's still in the mix. Can he make it 3-0? I'm wondering. So many medium tanks being idle. Man, I don't know. Smitty has just fucked up his rally points. The assets destroyed are pretty even. And the assets have evened up as well, wow. So a pretty big comeback by Barf, especially cleaning up the bottom right push. Finally the medium tanks are arriving. Medium tank column a bit out of position. I would like to see an MCV with this, and the MCV is supposed to just pop down an anti-air gun in a strategic position. The longbows are starting to do work. Starting to do a number on the tank forces here, just decimating the tank count time and again. And I think he's only lost 1 so far. A mobile gap generator, yes, hype! Haven't seen those in a while. Oh, that's very dangerous though, because he can force fire into the middle with. Oh no, he found the snipe on Tanya. What a precision strike! You can just force fire with artilleries. I don't think there's an artillery in the backlines currently. This is gonna be interesting. Barf is fighting with the line of sight disadvantage, but he just doesn't care. And the tanks of Smitty are just streaming in from a bad angle. So many free snipes being found by the longbows. Oh, he's found a longbow snipe as well. Keeping down their enemy longbow count is very important in a tier 3 allies mirror. Awesome stuff, and I think that's the comeback by Barf. There's a chronosphere for Smitty. It's ready, just not deployed yet. Maybe it doesn't have the power requirements. So what's it gonna be? We're having tier 3 endgame, the endgame meta. Where you're just running around with longbows trying to pick off as many things as you possibly can. Oh, and here's the base push. Base push with a mobile gap generator is super annoying, because you can't tell what the fuck is going on. Also taking a couple harvesters into the equation. Oh, this is an all-in move. This looks more like a Barf maneuver. We're seeing harvesters being pulled off the line of duty and being used as meat shields. And a very good discipline here with the mobile gap generator. Alright. Is he going to capture this? The husk? He could easily capture the husk. Take another lyric. It's not the worst choice. But it's nothing game deciding either. So this is the engagement that it's going to boil down to. We've got a 40-second timer on the nuke. Oh! And the Cognac. The army is completely out of position. Cognac gets sniped completely for free. The longbows have paid off big dividends. We're seeing a Tanook ready for Barf. Where is the Tanook going to go? Just going to unload her here. She's veteran C2. She has sniped 2 Tanyas and a couple standard issue infantry. This is going to be a hype engagement. Oh, hell yeah. The tanks are trying to dive after Tanya, but that's just not a smart choice. There is so much infantry presence from Barf. He's going for the crushes, but the husks are preventing more damage from occurring. And Tanya is still alive. So the brunt of the army is coming in, but it doesn't matter because Tanya is alive and she's veteran C2. So no way, Jose. And the nuke is ready. It is going onto the main Conyard. It is going to snipe the tech center and the chronosphere and the anti-air gun. Oh my lord. This is going to be a devastating blow. This is going to be the comeback for Barf. The comeback has been waiting for. And pop goes the weasel. Okay, chronosphere survives barely. Albeit barely. Being sold off hasn't been used a single time. Chronospheres haven't been high impact anyway. The Tanook is still alive. But that's a big blow for Smitty here. Can he defend against Barf now? Barf is going to push. And he knows that there is basically nothing defending the main ore patch. So he can easily just take his MCV. Oh, another snipe on a longbow. This pains me to see. Snipes on longbows are so expensive. 2,000 credits. It's along with the cruiser, the MiG, and the missile sub. And the MCV. It's one of the most expensive units in the game. I think the Mammoth tank is a bit more expensive. I believe. Or is it also? Has it also been toned down to 2k? Another harvester falling prey again? No. No sir, being retained, and all that's left here for tanking power or damage soaking is a single gap generator. That's not a very good prospect here for Smitty, and the timer is still ticking down. There is a Tanook as well. Tanya being loaded into the cargo bay. Back to artilleries we are, back to tier 2. Okay. Well, seeing as there's no tier 3 production at the moment, and he has failed to find the pressure on... Okay, so scared, showing me the map alterations with those 2 stranded civilians on the broken bridge. I wonder, can you save them? I think you can save them. Wow, Heinz actually sniping harvesters. That's when you know that this game has gone on for a while. You can actually save those, I believe. You can unload on a bridge tile, right? You can unload a transport on a bridge tile, unload an engineer, and repair the bridge. Escort the civilians back home. Okay, we're seeing some more longbow, curing some more longbow fire. I think it's up top. Oh, he's found another harvester. He's found another hind. The longbows are the big MVPs in this game here. I'm loving the longbow play out of Barf so far. Veteran C2, and Veteran C1 respectively. That's not easy to achieve with a unit that costs 2,000 credits, because in order to be promoted, it needs to kill at least twice its worth or something. Just don't quote me on that. I didn't delve into the intricacies of that. Oh! The Chrono Crushes! A stalwart defense coming out of Barf here. The Chrono Crush with a set of medium tanks just demolishing the infantry. Stationary infantry, thank you, goodbye. And it's looking better and better for Barf here. Finding a snipe. Oh, in comes the radar jammer. Effectively rendering the entire defensive line here useless. Awesome. What a play. What a play from Barf. The comeback is imminent here. Oh, wow, there's still a massive dispatch of infantry, but the Tanook That's a no. Can he find a spot to land? If he could find a spot on the cliff tile, that would be amazing. But no. Oh, a perfect angle for Tanya. Yes, yes, yes. Veteran C3 now. Could snipe the bubble gap generator. Didn't pull the trigger. The Tanya is still oh, he killed the first one, you know. The first Tanya died to 5 medium tanks, but the second Tanya that Barf built is still alive, and she's Vet 3, and she's yeah, she's not taking any prisoners here. Very good play, and this ill-fated Conyard tried to go for a push. No, sir. So it's looking more and more like Barf is going to take this. Oh, the counter snipe, enemy Tanya down. So that's a 4-0, no, 4-1 technically. And Texer is back up for Smitty, but does it matter? Can he hold now? 4 minutes and 30 on the next nuke. I love when you have longbows and hinds at the same time, but they're like in mixed attack groups. Okay, pulling back. Good conduct, good conduct. And now he needs a safe spot to land on. Tanya, it's your time to shine. Shake it, baby. Bam, 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 bam. Very good. That was a bit of an expensive snipe, but okay. Keep at least 2 of the vetted longbows alive. So the artillery is down and... Oh ho ho ho! Vet 4! Bring it on! That's a good shit. That's what we love to see here. Artillery is trying to go for snipes on the blob, I guess. Just content with some force fire. One big thing about the GPS satellite is it removes the force fire bug. As soon as you have the GPS satellite online, you don't have the fucking force fire bug anymore, where something would go out of line of sight and you would immediately and you try to control click to attack the ground somewhere, but then you lose line of sight. So what happens is it gets reset to a move command instead of an attack command. Nice snipes by the hinds, and your artilleries end up just going to melee form. Oh, Barf, the big comeback here. Sniping another Conyard, and the GG well played coming out of Smitty. GG well played indeed. A fantastic game. Is it the real GG though? Because we know those. The OpenRA community loves dragging on games. You know, yes! It is the real GG. Fantastic play out of Barf. Now what happened here? The big comeback play was bottom right flank when Smitty attacked without line of sight advantage and completely got demolished by a nice concave out of Barf's units. That was what ultimately cost him the lead. And then Barf had opted for a nuke rush, and the nuke just paid off. The timer was coming online just in time to snipe some of the most critical structures, the tech center especially. Wait, yeah. We're having black screen now. I'm just going to freeze the frame. The tech center especially, tech center snipe was big. The chronosphere snipe, and the chronosphere didn't do a single point of damage. So also, Tanya versus Tanya, Barf always had the line of sight advantage. He always kept winning the 1v1 shootouts, the high noon duels. So his Tanya kept going and inflicted a lot of bleed, manpower bleed onto Smitty. And the big MVP were the longbows. 3 longbows, I believe. He built 4. One of them got killed by the tanks when it landed on the pad, but the other 3 survived throughout the entire game. Accumulated veterancy 3, 3, and 2 respectively, and did a number onto the entire army out of Smitty. Fantastic play from both. A fantastic video by So Scared. Fantastic editing with all the fancy production bars up there and hotkeys and whatnot, and assets and whatever he's showcasing there. So big shout out to So Scared for doing this. This is an incredible amount of work. You won't believe how much work video editing is. I've shit at it and it takes me so long. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the next match of the month, and I'm really hyped to keeping this series going. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to So Scared as well. I'll see you next time. 5 Aces out.